speaker, Miss Lauren Langau.
Ready.
So this one time I was on stage at conference and I talked for too long and Karen Jones went like this to me. Right when I was on stage, so if anybody thinks I'm talking for too long, give me a I don't know. Okay, so this is my family. This is my son Walker, he's 4, Dayton is going to be 2 next month, and my husband Justin. And I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about my Juice Plus story. So, Michelle Rogers, Michelle Ball, Michelle Ventura, however you know her, I'm Doris Ventura, taught me high school biology. So, yeah, she taught me sex ed, she taught me biology. I made the joke last time, that's how I made those babies. I'm just kidding. But really, she taught me bio, and she was a little bit younger when she was teaching. I was older in high school, so we became pretty good friends, as appropriately as you are with a teacher, and then became friends on Facebook after school was done. So Michelle invited me and a girlfriend to a Prevention Plus that she was doing one night. Obviously we went because Michelle is so cool. Obviously we went because she was offering to buy the drinks. Obviously we didn't think we needed the product and didn't order. But I did want to get my mom on it. That was until I became pregnant and I literally couldn't eat anything. I was surviving off of tortilla chips and I knew I needed something, so I thought, I'll just eat those stupid gummies or whatever. Started taking them, and I'm not going to stand up here, you guys, and tell you that I had the world's most amazing product story, because I'm guessing it's probably the exact same as all yours. Better energy, better immunity, better skin, yeah. Oh my god, I'm an ugly crier, and it is coming. What I am going to stand up here and tell you is how much this business has truly changed my life. When I was pregnant with our first son, Walker, Justin and I decided that we were going to build a house. We started building a house, and we had moved in December 19th, had our son Walker February 8th, and that entire winter that we were building our house, Justin's job was drastically affected by the recession in Alberta. He works in the oil field, and he would normally do say 50 to 80 jobs in a winter time. The winter we built our house and had our baby, he had done 2. I was off on mat leave. I worked as an emergency room nurse. I couldn't go and pick up extra shifts because if I'm being totally honest with you, I made more on EI than what I did as a nurse. So it didn't make sense for me to go back to work. Justin was working odd jobs here and there just to pay our bills, and I started cleaning houses just so we could help afford our groceries. Michelle even hired me to clean her house once, and I think it was just so that I could be surrounded by her and make that connection. I don't think she gave a shit if her house was clean. But it worked. I mean, she offered me a bar, I ate it, it was delicious. I mean, it was the start of something. Going through the recession was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done. The overwhelming feeling of guilt that you get for spending anything that isn't an absolute need is out of this world. I didn't buy things like fancy fruit, I didn't buy grapes, I didn't buy olive oil, I didn't buy toilet paper unless it was a no-name brand, I didn't even buy paper towel. It was so hard. And obviously, financial times will be hard on any marriage, but if I'm being totally honest with you guys, our marriage was really falling apart before the recession even hit us. We loved each other so much, and we are both so freaking stubborn. But we loved each other so much, but man, we fought. We had such poor communication, resented each other so much for unmet expectations of each other that were never communicated. We slowly started drifting apart, and I would say that we were kind of living like roommates, but I honestly think that roommates were probably more cordial and talked to each other more than we did. So when Walker was 10 months old, my sister Elena went to a prevention class that Michelle was putting on in her college town. She called me the next day and she's like, "Hey, I think I'm gonna do the Juice Plus business." And I was like, "What? You?" Michelle's been asking me about it for the last 2 years and I've turned it down. Like, what was I thinking? Seriously. Then Michelle and Elena were doing their startup meeting, and Elena was over at my house and had her phone on speakerphone. And Michelle shared what she was earning. I know this business is about helping people. This product is, of course, about helping people. But holy shit, maybe this money could help our family. I thought to myself, if I could make like $100 extra at the end of the month, that would be life-changing for us. That would be like one less toilet I'd have to scrub. That's actually how I thought of it. So, my best friend Carly, my sister Jord, and Elena, we all signed up at the same time, and we decided to go for it. We went through the marketing plan, got to SC, got to SSC, and I remember specifically when I got the SSC bonus, Justin looked me in the eye and he said, "Thank you for helping us." I had never been able to help our family like that. And I never would have been able to. Like, you can't clean any more houses. And I was able to because of this business. And again, even more so than how it helped us financially, I finally felt like my husband was really proud of me. And it connected us because I did something that was really good. We were able to talk about this business, talk about the abundance that it was bringing us, talk about the opportunity and choice that it was giving us. And now through this business, I was able to get to NMD in 1.5 years. And don't compare yourself if you're thinking, "Oh my gosh, that's so fast." You guys know my why. You know why I did it that fast. I was able to get to NMD in 1.5 years. I've been able to let go of my nursing position. I've been able to stay at home with my kids. But even more so than that, the personal development of this business, it saved our marriage. Because this business makes you take accountability and responsibility and ownership of your own life. It makes you set healthy boundaries with people. It makes you learn about respect. And I know this is going to sound a little bit dramatic, but because of this business, my kids get to wake up with both of their parents in their house every day. Woo! Dramatic. Like, how can a business save a marriage? Like, it probably doesn't make sense and probably is like, what? That doesn't really, like, it's a fruit and veggie business. But seriously, this business has been the one thing that's propelled us both to becoming connected and keeping our family together. If I wouldn't have been focused on going out of my comfort zone to help my family without even realizing how many people it would affect along the way, our team would have never been able to help over 2,000 families with their health last month alone. 2,000 families. But this team is also, sharing stories about how it's helping them with their marriage, with their relationships, with their parents, with their siblings, with their kids. We get to learn so much from this business, And I hope you guys really soak all of that stuff in, even if like the numbers and the actual, mumbo jumbo of the actual business stuff isn't for you. You can get so much out of this. So Stephen was kind of talking to me about what he wanted me, I guess, to share. And he's like, okay, what do you want to talk about? And I thought, I don't know. He's like, what are you doing to grow your team? How have you grown this team? What are you doing when they can give and receive without judgment and when they derive strength and sustenance from a relationship? That's by Brené Brown. To me, I think another word for connection is friendship. We have to be freaking master friend makers in this business. You can watch any 4-year-old master this skill. My 4-year-old Walker walks up to kids at the playground with swagger and says, hey, I had a grilled cheese for lunch. Boom, they're instant best friends. Like, what? If I walked up to this kid's mom and was like, hey, I'm having popcorn and wine for supper. I would probably want to be my friend, but unfortunately it doesn't really work like that. It's so freaking awkward to make adult friends. Does anybody out here agree? Like, making adult friends is hard. See another mom at the playground, like, I'm not gonna beeline it over to her. Like, oh, she looks cool. So I slowly start nudging Dayton over to go play by her kids so I can be like, oh, I love your kids' shoes. Like, this seems like such small talk BS. But we have to be so good at it. The way I see it, there's 2 groups of connections that we really have that really help us in our business. The first group is like our ride or die, kindergarten besties. These are mine, Jess, Morgan, and Carly. These are the girls that that you like started kindergarten with, you graduated with, they threw your bachelorette party, and they held your hair for you in high school. Like, these are the people that are your ride or dies. And they want nothing to do with this business, usually. No, I'm just kidding. Mine all did. But the second group of people are the mom from preschool, the guy from the grocery store, the guy from the gym, the mom from the playground. Those are the connections that you have to focus on in this business. And if I'm being totally honest, these are the ones that are always out of your comfort zone, the most kind of struggle to go over and do, and they are 100% never easy to find time in your schedule for. It's so hard to find time when you're a busy mom or a busy working adult to make that, coffee date with that person you know nothing about. But I've realized that the most successful people in our business are constantly making new connections. If you're not actively bringing in new people into your circle, you can expect your business to fall, your paycheck to decline, and your confidence to plummet all at the same time. I know that's like a super dramatic saying, but it's so true. If you are not bringing in new people, you can pretty much expect it to fall apart. So how do we do it? How do we find these connections? How do we establish them? And how do we take them to a place where we actually are safe enough to share what we do, share what we take, share what our business is, and share how we can help them? It's always hard. I was talking to my sister-in-law, Alicia, and she was listening to a podcast. And the guy said, make people notice you by you noticing them. That's what we have to do. I'm not talking about saying happy birthday on somebody's Facebook wall. I'm not talking about sliding into their DMs with a random and awkward, hey, what's new? I'm talking about leaving these connections with these people or these interactions with these people in your life where they leave feeling positive and uplifted, but connected and thought of. Do you leave every interaction knowing that that's how they're going to feel? Because that's what we have to focus on. I was listening to a TED Talk by a lady named Shasta Nelson, and she shared the 3 key pillars of friendship. I was like, what? These are the 3 key pillars of our business. These are the 3 key pillars of what we have to do. So the first one is positivity, right? How many people out there say, damn it, I wish I had more whiny, self-centered, manipulative people around me? Friggin' no one. We want kindness and affirmation and words of gratitude, and we want all of those in our interactions. Don't you guys agree? We have a pretty freaking easy way to do this on social media. We get to blow up people's likes and loves and comments. And I know you're probably thinking, wow, Lauren Longale shared that I need to be positive on social media. Life-changing. I know. But really, how many times do you go into an interaction with somebody on Facebook or Instagram and you take the time to truly show them how positive you are and that you are interested in a connection with them? Not just messaging back and being like, oh, cute kids. Tell them why you think they're cute. Tell them more than 2 words. Go into it. I'm going to tell you about my friend Celine. Her and I met at swimming lessons and then again at skating. And I said to her, hey girl, if your boys ever want to go to the playground, I'm sure my boys would love to play with them. What's your last name? I'll add you as a friend on Facebook, and we'll make a plan sometime. So I added her, we met one time at the playground and then again at the swimming pool. After only 2 times, she shared with me that her father-in-law had just been diagnosed the day before with prostate cancer and they were waiting to hear his treatment, and that her father had just passed away 4 months previously, very unexpected, and that she was really scared. So the next day, I sent her a text message to ask her what her address is. I had no clue where she lived. And I brought over a casserole, like all Canadians do. And I'm not telling you guys this to pump my tires about like how good of a friend I am. I'm telling you this to be inspired to be that positive person in somebody's life. She's not on the product, she's not in the business, I've never invited her to anything, but when she thinks of me, she will always remember this interaction, and she will know that I'm somebody that she can trust. The second is consistency. This is the time that we put into our friendship. Like I said before, this is not just inviting them, sending or saying happy birthday on Facebook. This is inviting them to the playground, and then to the swimming pool, and then out for a drink one night, and then over for supper. And then maybe a couple weeks later you go for a walk, and then you meet them again at the playground. This is the time that we put into our friendships. The more time you spend together, the more actions can start to be predicted, the more patterns start to form, and the more trust is built. This is why friendship is so easy for kids, because they are positive every day at school, and they also see each other every day at school. Have you guys ever been on maternity leave or taken time off to go on vacation, and you thought the people that you worked with were like your best friends, and then all of a sudden you were off for an entire year and you didn't really talk to any of them? I know that happened to me. And it's not to say that these people weren't amazing. We were positive, and we see each other consistently. But where the third is what we really need to focus on. The third is vulnerability. This is where I've been able to speed up forming connections, make true, lasting friendships, and really make adult friends way easier. This is when we let people in to see our true, authentic selves. Again, I've used social media as a place where I share my mom's struggles and days I've had, I'm just not feeling like myself, or how much I friggin' hate baking with my kids. I can't stand it. I know I should love it, but I don't. I like to do it when they're sleeping, or I don't do it at all, because I hate it. But don't you guys find that the people that are the most open and vulnerable are the easiest to connect with? And don't you guys find the people that skip the small talk bullshit are the easiest to connect with? Seriously, I was listening to a podcast by Jenna Kutcher, and she shared how one time she just met this girl for the first time, and she shared about she had like a super boob. It's like when you're breastfeeding, you have one boob that produces like 10 times more milk than the other, and this girl like instantly felt a connection with her. I mean, like, I've never shared about my super boob, but okay, that's a lie, I probably have before. But I have had people messaging me and saying, thank you for being real. Thank you for being honest. Thank you for being vulnerable. I didn't realize that anybody was going through the same struggles. Or how many messages I got from people being like, I hate baking with my kids too. So many. We really have an opportunity to get close with people by just being ourselves. So I really want these to sink into you guys. Really think about it. Think about the top 5 people that you would love to work with, your dream team right now. Who do you need to be more consistent with? Who do you need to be more positive with? Who do you need to be more vulnerable with? For positivity, who do you need to get together with them and maybe stop, talking about how much you hate your mother-in-law? Be more positive. Who do you need to be more consistent with? Who have you invited to a prevention class 2, 3, 4 times and they've never been able to show? Are you friggin' ready to invite them out for a glass of wine and maybe get to know them better? So that they trust you? And who do you need to take to the next step? Who do you need to let in a little bit deeper, really get to know you, get to know your heart? And if vulnerability isn't your thing, if you don't want to share on Facebook how you had a bad day as a mom, or how you and your husband have had hard times, or you and your wife have had hard times, that's okay. But where you have to focus is one-on-one. That's what speeds up these connections with people. And that's what we all want. I'm going to tell you about one of the connections in my business that has truly meant the most to me. I have a lot, but damn, this one's a good one. This is my friend Susan. Oop. Her and I met at the Stollery Children's Hospital. She was there for an appointment with her daughter Ezra, and I was there with my son Dayton. I sat down beside her, and within 2 minutes of talking to her, she shared with me that her daughter was very sick. She had just been admitted to the hospital the week prior for an operative procedure. She's sitting right here, and I can see her looking at me, and I'm going to cry, so I'm going to avoid this middle section. Her daughter was just the week prior for an operative procedure, and she just came back that week for another checkup. She shared that she had to be home by the bus time to be able to get their oldest daughter off the bus, and that her husband was working out of town, and most of her family lived in other provinces. She has the most amazing, strong, supportive network. They just weren't physically close to her at the time. After her sharing with me what struggles she had, just very briefly, with her daughter and that her family was away, I thought to myself, this mom is super mom. She's really amazing. So she got taken back to the room shortly after I did too. And I kind of felt this sense of guilt. Here I was at an appointment with my one son being watched by my dad and my brother. My husband worked in the same city that we were in, and my mom was with me for support that day. I was in the room, and I said to my mom, I was pacing back and forth, and I said, Mom, it's almost Christmas time. I feel like there's something I can do to help her. I wonder if I could offer to watch her kids or something if she needed, or I wonder if I was what can I do to help her? So I opened up the door, and I watched as she was walking out of the hallway, and I popped out, and I said, hey, I know you don't really know me, but I was wondering if I could get your name on Facebook so I could send you a message. I'd like to send you a little Christmas gift just from one mom to the next. So I sent her a message. Well, first, I should go back and tell you. I asked her for her name, and I think she looked at me like, why the hell do you want to know my name? So she said, I'm Susan Morton. I sent her a message on Facebook the next day, and I said, hey Susan, it's Lauren from the Stollery. I just wanted to send you a little gift for Christmas just from one mom to the next. Well, Susan didn't answer the message that day, or that week, or that month. 4 months later, while I was at conference with Katrina doing her NMD speech, I got a message from Susan, and guess what she said to me? Hey, what is that stuff you're giving your family? I told her all about it. After a few messages back and forth, I got her signed up on the product, we got her in the business. And her family started taking and getting the benefits of this product. So now we get to watch their Juice Plus journey unfold.
Susan Morton. I currently reside in Alberta, Canada, with my husband Jim and our 3 daughters, Isabel, Ezra, and Daisy. Our family has been struggling for the past 5 years. Our 2B, Ezra, has always been sick, but the last 2 years have been the hardest. She's had infection after infection, leading to blood work, IVs, medication, hospital stays, sometimes even surgeries and invasive testing. And even when Ezra wasn't sick, she threw up 3 to 4 times a day, every day. Everything we tried failed. And with our oldest daughter, Isabel, she has ADHD and generalized anxiety disorder. Medication and different types of therapy were attempted for over the past 2 years. But Isabel became withdrawn, very timid. Her eating habits became almost non-existent. She was exhausted. Isabel's focus did improve, but she lost her self-confidence and struggled expressing herself. As a parent, watching your child suffer and not being able to really help, it's devastating. I felt like I was failing. I was drowning in the never-ending appointments, hospital stays, the tantrums, tears, vomiting. I had to quit my amazing job that I loved so much because Ezra was so sick. I struggled with major depression and high anxiety. And I'm embarrassed to say that I was looking for a way out. I felt everyone was better off without me. But I realized I couldn't trust anyone to care for Ezra the way I do. I reached out to my doctor and I asked for help. I was on a high dose of antidepressants and I began therapy. But I still struggled and I wasn't fully able to cope. I still had to actively shut off the voices telling me to just stop fighting it and let it all go. In a time of darkness, I finally seen a light. And it was when our friend Lauren introduced me to Juice Plus. I was so desperate to help Ezra. I was desperate to help all of us. So 5 months ago, we took a leap of faith and we began Juice Plus. Ezra's experience has been incredible. We now celebrate zeros in our family. 0 hospital stays, IVs, medication, catheters, blood work, 0 throwing up. Ezra is still a sick kid, but if she catches something, she doesn't end up in the hospital like her previous norm. Ezra is now eating, she's growing, talking, she has over 80 words. Ezra has energy, and she's sleeping great. Ezra has fun, learning and playing. All of this is new to us, and we love watching Ezra blossom. Ezra is showing us who she has always been meant to be. And Isabel, she has grown so much. She is no longer on ADHD medication. She is flourishing, like really living in the moment now. Her mood, eating habits, and focus have all improved. She is back to our social happy kid once again. We truly love having our vibrant girl back. Having healthy children really allows you to take a moment to breathe and refocus on what you want out of your life. I decided to take time for myself and to take better care of myself. I challenged myself to work out, eat healthier, and practice self-care. Juice Plus was a catalyst to help ignite the fire and my desire to improve my overall health. I began sleeping better, had amazing energy. I get out and I enjoy the day with my family now. And at 2.5 months of my new health regimen and consistently taking Juice Plus, I stopped taking my antidepressants. I am now able to feel my emotions, and I'm finally the mom my girls deserve. Juice Plus isn't a cure. I know that everyone is different and will experience different results. It's concentrated nutrition. It's apparently what our family needed. This is our experience. Juice Plus has given my family our life back. I had no idea how little we were thriving, and for that, I'm forever grateful for my dear friend Lauren. I'm so happy that you introduced us to this amazing product.